I'm Jeffrey K. Horkrems. And these are all the same people who were here before, except for two very specific additions. And that is Adam and Adam.
What?
I know, from Game to Grow. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. It was all a part of the plan.
I'm scared.
We snuck in.
Were you there the whole time?
We were, yeah.
Sitting over there.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's fucking incredible. But here, so we have our ritual to undertake, of course.
Yes.
No reason not to jump right in. Walnut, is there any new business?
Yes. I would like to talk specifically to. It can't be the White Massacre. That cannot be the screen name, is it?
It's the
YT
YT
Massacre.
Like, maybe,
there it is.
Maybe YouTube or Whitey.
It's in a continuum.
Whitey Massacre.
Anyway,
They
They T Massacre. I would like to talk to you about your Death Ward applicator application. And listen, failing to apply the Death Wards. Oof, that's gonna be a big listen. Just really quietly, I won't tell Rosie, but yeah,
It's gonna
be a no from me, dog.
It's gonna affect your ability to succeed in that position, basically, right? At the end of the day, Big Daddy Dinar. How are things going to the Yum Yum Hut?
Class change. Hey! Hey! Gun ho to Big Daddy Dinar's Yum Yum Hut.
Consummate professional.
Super great owner. Hereby grants Employee of the Week. First of all, gun ho to you. Gun ho to Gone.
Whoa.
Got him.
Gone
Fuck that
ho.
guy. All right.
Nice skate.
This week, the Action Economist. You're my new favorite person in the whole wide world.
Mine too, actually.
Give you a
Yeah,
couple kisses.
how many actions per minute do you think this guy's got?
I don't know, at least two.
At least two.
Yeah.
Very
well,
powerful.
no, I mean, because Action Economist also gave me my tip, and so of course I appreciate that.
Just the tip.
Just the tip.
so to speak.
You get access to the Discord, a menu, signed merch from me, access to PAX, every PAX.
All
Beta read
PAXes
the native.
for free.
The novel.
The Nada?
Beta read the
Beta
novel.
Nada.
Now,
Beta the Nada.
Hashtag.
Yeah, please
What?
don't. All right, Cthulhu, are there any emanations from the void?
Yes, I saw this one. It came to me as in a dream, as in a nightmare.
Like as unto a dream.
Whoa, Spifferified.
Look at that.
Not equal to 5.
A river ran through it.
Spookerified.
Yeah.
Like,
Ah.
not equal to 5.
Exactly. That was what inspired it.
It's more.
Not equivalent to.
To a 5.
It's more or less.
Bird AC.
All right. Now,
BAC.
Yeah.
Rosie,
Yeah.
how are things with the fam?
It's an unusual day here in the sky. I looked up and I saw not one but 2 snow dogs. And this is what it looked like.
We all know that classic winter tune.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. This is the first dog. That's the second dog.
No, it's totally ballin'. Now, Bird Sorcerer, let me inform you. It brings me great pleasure to say that Jim Dark Magic's dice from the West game are now yours. Zanshichi, of course, the Elderwood Academy box. I believe that this. Oh, yeah, the Elderwood Academy box is with the AI dice set. God damn.
I'll put it in the thingy.
God damn. And then Inez 666, the number of the beast. Of course, we welcome you. Big Daddy Dinar, Yum Yum Hut apron. And then, of course, thank you very much to D&D Beyond for giving us the cool tools that honestly...
we didn't cut a promo.
I was just gonna say, but it honestly made the battle possible
it was so
because
good
you
to
pulled
use.
up
So
all
good.
the different
Yeah,
monsters.
that's
It
right.
felt like it was in my brain. It felt like it was happening live behind my eyeballs. That's how good the interface is.
It's a part of me now.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that
That is inside me.
We're good. Now, what is the MVP?
I'm a
D&D
Drow
Beyond,
him.
of course. How could it be anything else?
Drow him.
I'm a pious boy.
I'm a pious
Oh, the
boy.
song.
Definitely that.
It's gone from my mind. I don't remember anything but the last part.
Lolth is great.
Lolth
Lolth
is
is
good.
great.
Yeah.
Now I remember. How could I forget?
Now, like I was saying before, are there any cues to authorize, Alyssa?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So there's just, like I say, just throw a hashtag question in front of your question for Adam and Adam from Game to Grow, and they will
Scroll down. You should already see some.
they will nourish all of us
We'll take him in.
as one.
We'll give out.
But yeah. So I was gonna say, so it's entirely possible that people don't remember, or maybe they may be a new viewer, so they might not be familiar with you guys or what you do.
It's
so
been
if
a
you would
little
give
while.
us the
It's
a lot's happened since then. Too.
Yeah, a lot has
Possible.
happened since then. Adam, you want to give like a rundown? What is Game to Grow?
Yeah, so we came on here, it was, I think, about a year ago. We were just transitioning then from Wheelhouse Workshop into Game to Grow.
Yeah.
Game to Grow is a 501c3 nonprofit whose mission is threefold. One is to use role-playing games like Dungeons & Dragons, really games of all kinds, and therapeutic social skills groups.
Yep.
2, to train other people to use games of all kinds to improve lives.
Oh.
And 3, to raise awareness about the life-enriching magic of games.
Man, this motherfucker, he knows exactly what's going on.
Yeah, I'm clueless.
He has said
His
this.
mission statement.
He has said this before.
I do that when I wake up in the morning. I look at the mirror.
And then he says the
Mission
whole
threefold.
I have a couple cues for you from here, but I also have cues that are in my heart. So we'll use a combination of it. Starboot says, "Hey, for Game to Grow, I don't have a question, but as someone who has talked to her therapist about gaming, both tabletop and video games, and how it's benefited me in so many ways, I really, really want to thank you for everything you do. There's so much value in it, and I'm delighted to have you here to learn more about what you do in your continuum, like in the therapeutic continuum." Is what you're suggesting about the utility of games weird? Like, you know what I mean? Like, are they not ready for this jelly, so to speak?
They're like mostly in support of it. Like we talk to a lot of therapists and they go, "Oh, that's such a great idea," or "That's such an interesting idea." And actually, we're speaking at the Washington Marriage and Family Association conference. We're keynote speaking there.
Oh, smooth.
Just later this month. And so like there's some excitement about it, but it's still brand new. It's still super new to everybody.
Does it map to any existing therapeutic techniques?
There's some overlap, and that's actually where all of our background comes from. Adam's background is all in drama therapy, and there's, as I'm sure you guys know, like there's so much like drama and sort of acting stuff that goes into the role-playing game experience, and there's a lot of crossover from the experiences of drama therapy and the stuff that goes into like an RPG.
Well, yeah, I mean, it seems like it exists at a crossroads point, because I know that there's another like a therapeutic technique where essentially you just rewrite events.
Yeah, narrative therapy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I mean, it seems like it sits in the middle of all those different approaches.
Yeah, actually,
oh, go ahead.
I think we're going to see the exact same thing. One of the things in narrative therapy is this concept of externalization.
Exactly, right.
And that's where you take a piece of yourself and you say, the problem, I'm not the problem is the problem. And we can externalize that and look at that thing outside
So if you have a character,
Yes.
like that is the technique, like the fundamental idea of role-playing, like is a therapeutic technique.
Yes.
Yeah.
To create a persona that it sits out here and has those issues.
Yeah, and there's an amazing ability as you guys like, if you've ever played a character and you felt yourself like really, really super connected to the character's experience, maybe even to the point where you're getting angry at the table or you're getting like frustrated or upset at the table.
It's never happened at our table.
It's never happened.
But I can see the possibility, but it's like,
But you can say something like wow, your character's really angry or your character's really upset, and now all of a sudden it's not you who has to experience that. It's your character. I've externalized that experience, and now it can be something you can look at from an outside perspective.
Maybe it's like the scientific device where it's like you reach in with the gloves, and then there's the thing the dangerous thing that's being worked on inside the tank.
Yeah.
And it's like if you can just get that stuff out here, or you can even see it, or even be conscious of the idea that it doesn't have to be like some inherency, right?
Yeah.
And it goes the other way too, because you can also go, wow, this amazing thing is happening in here. My character's doing this awesome stuff, and then you can kind of dive. You can dive in. You can bring it back in. Right? It's me who's doing that awesome stuff.
A lot of the players in our group, so we have almost 40 kids that we see every week playing Dungeons & Dragons.
Jeez,
and
so
we
where are you doing your play?
We have groups in West Seattle, and we have groups in Greenwood here in Seattle, and then groups in Kirkland.
Do you have any groups like at Mox or?
We just did our summer camp at Mox, actually.
Shit.
Yeah, it was super, super fun. It was a lot of fun to work along with Mox for that.
Yeah, our Greenwood group is at the Pocket Theater on 84th and Greenwood.
Totally.
And we have a lot of our players have autism diagnoses or ADHD diagnoses or
for sure.
struggling with anxiety and depression and sort of just need a place to unwind and find a relationship with other kids because a lot of them are really socially isolated. So a lot of the kids make characters. Some of them are like exact copies of themselves. So sometimes like really impulsive kids will make barbarians that want to go in and hit everything right away. And in that case, we want to externalize some of that impulsive
Out here.
behavior.
Right.
Like your character maybe should have thought before they did that thing. But then a lot of kids also make like aspirational selves as their character, where like somebody who's really socially isolated and struggling with confidence might make a character who is like a well-respected noble or a general, who then when they walk into a room, everybody goes, "Whoa, you're confident, you're cool, I like you."
That's awesome.
And that's we can do that with the game. We can sort of take the problematic behaviors and put it on the character, or translate some of like the positive things.
Yeah.
And as the NPCs, we can really like offer that to the player.
Sure. You can provide that external perspective, right?
Yeah.
Hey, so Taurus Beastinger says, Adams, would your therapies be more CBT or DBT or narrative based?
It's probably narrative based. Is a
CBT is like the relaxing.
Yeah, it's
stuff.
a lot of it's cognitive behavior therapy.
Yeah.
And then that's really tying in like your cognitive thoughts and automatic thoughts and things like that are going on, and also like tying in the behaviors that end up coming out as a result of that. A lot of times it's used for relaxation or anxiety or depression.
What the hell is DBT? That sounds like.
Dialectical behavioral therapy.
Well, I was just gonna say that sounds like something that we outlawed, like in the 70s.
That's
like it sounds
PCP.
like it's a crop. It's like a crop.
Jake the
thing.
Snake's finishing move.
Yeah, the DBT.
DBT is dialectical behavioral therapy. I have some training in that, and there's some like very specific skills programs that are really useful. I actually helped design a video game-based dialectical behavioral therapy program.
Oh, wow.
Which we can talk about another time.
Yeah.
But we don't really do DBT either. There's some things in DBT that where they like teach very specifically how to ask for what you want, using like sentence frames. And so we might bust out some of that stuff, but it's not. What we do isn't as much like direct skills training as that, because we find that a lot of our kids have been in therapy a lot.
Oh,
Or they've
sure.
been in like skills training programs where they say, here's how you make eye contact. And here's how you ask a question. But if the kids don't have any sense of reward or have like why it means anything to be social, then they don't care. Like, why do I care about making eye contact? That's uncomfortable. They've never had a friendship that's been rewarding.
Even if you got good at the skill,
Right.
why would you use it?
Right. There's no
Exactly.
practice, right?
Yeah, so like an RPG gives
jeez.
kids an opportunity to be there and feel the inherent rewards of being social, because to get farther along in the game, you have to like wait your turn to talk. You like the game requires a certain degree of social decorum,
Yeah.
which you can learn and then immediately feel the rewards because the group gets along better, the story progresses better. It's like an immediate feedback.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that a non-trivial percentage of the kids in the Sunday game I play with my son and a few of his friends have probably engaged in some form of therapy or medication at some point. And I would say that, a year or so into that campaign, it's very different. Like I'm not trying to encourage or I'm not trying to model. I'm not trying to do therapy. Like I don't know how to do therapy, but I know how to make stories and I know how to make the rewards for being collaborative apparent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's pretty wild how much buy-in you can get from a really, really wide range of skill sets.
Absolutely.
Just by telling a story that's meaningful to them. Man, finding out what's meaningful to them is its own challenge, right? Yeah. I mean, I know that you're trying to create a curriculum, but it's like, how do you make a curriculum for something like the mind? Right? Because that seems like a tough row to hoe.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that's been largely the challenge, is because like Adam said, we've talked to therapists and we've talked to doctors, and they're like, cool, this is awesome. How do I play D&D?
Oh shit! You have a whole other problem.
It's a whole
So
new thing.
there's this whole process where we're not only teaching people how to be game masters, but how to be good game masters, and then how to be good game masters to a sensitive population, and then how to be good game masters to a sensitive population to achieve outcomes. There's like so many layers to that. We have to oftentimes go to square one and say, here's what an RPG is.
Yeesh. I got more beef here for you. I got Die Curious.
Ooh,
Nice.
like it.
The previous Game to Grow Table Talk is one I've listened to multiple times. I love the idea. I'm curious how often you get to use tabletop RPG in practice, as opposed to other therapies. #AdamLove.
That's the first time I've ever seen that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's going to happen. It's starting for
That's
you.
exciting. So we have 5 groups a week. We play a lot of Dungeons and Dragons. That's actually the crux of our work. So you asked what had happened since the last time we were on. We are now officially a 501c3 nonprofit. Child's Play gave us a grant. Big props to Child's Play. They gave us a grant, so Adam and I are now full-time. We
Nice.
are 100% of our waking hours, pretty much,
Yeah.
is Game to Grow.
Well, and a big part of why that happened that way and like why that love connection happened is because one of the things that you're trying to do is create a curriculum that surrounds it. So it's one thing to have like a good idea, it's one thing to be able to execute it, but what y'all are trying to do is put it together in such a way that it can be taught,
Yeah.
right? So that the good that you create is not localized, right?
Right.
That's the cool thing about it to me. It isn't like a proprietary mechanism.
Right.
It's like you want to create a skill building system for this entire spectrum of people.
Right, and that's like part of the reason why we wanted to go nonprofit in the first place was
Right.
because Adam and I were running everything we were doing. It was like just him and I facilitating groups, and we were the product in so many ways. Like even right now, like the Adams was the product, right?
Oh, tell me about it.
So in figuring out how
I
to get
know
this
all about
out
it.
there, it was a whole extra journey of making a nonprofit.
And we actually just hired 2 new facilitators so that we can start expanding our group, so we can just start running more groups in the area. And so
Oh,
we're
wow.
training them and teaching them how to do what we've been doing now for 7 years. And we're about to launch a kit. And I'm really excited about this. It's called Critical Core.
Well, no, I saw the image.
Yeah. So this is basically a take-home starter kit for therapeutic dungeon mastering. And it's going to be like modules designed specifically for outcomes related to autism. We're actually building up interest and engagement for the Kickstarter that we're hoping to launch in November.
Oh, I was just going to say, when does that end up on Kickstarter?
Right.
Jeez, like, what a cool story.
Is this something that just like regular folks can buy?
Yeah, the goal really is to get just like you said, Jerry, playing Dungeons and Dragons can be good for you.
Yeah.
Just having a great experience at a table can be really great for you. And so we wanted to make something that we could get into the hands of like parents and teachers and therapists to go and play with their kids or with their clients or with their students. And it would introduce role-playing games to them in a simple and kind of streamlined fashion with like a slimmed down set of rules. But then it would also have a module that's specifically oriented at saying like, cool, this encounter that you're going to do right here, this is going to work on self-advocacy skills, or this encounter is going to work on being able to collaborate with each other. And it would highlight basically how do you kind of scaffold those things up, how do you make that more challenging or less challenging depending on the people at your table. So really kind of designed and aimed at being able to help people take on the dungeon mastering role in a positive influence kind of fashion. So you don't need to be a therapist to use this, but you could help make better people at your table by the process of being engaged in a great game and an amazing experience.
Wild. So, have you ever run into problems like D&D? At least it had a reputation. For some people, it still has, like a dark sort of cloud.
Like a satanic panic?
Yeah.
It's only happened once.
I was just gonna say, but it has happened, right?
It's only happened once. We were actually at a homeschool convention because
Oh, there we go.
we were
There we go.
Assuming that people who are homeschooled might need some extra socialization, so we went to the homeschool con to just promote our groups.
Well, it makes sense. Like, honestly, I think that's a pretty savvy pick.
I think so too. And the interesting thing about homeschool families is that some of them want to like step away from the structure and the norms of school because they want to experience uneducation or whatever they call it, like let the kid follow his own path.
Yeah.
And then other ones because of like pretty strict religious norms that they're trying to adhere to.
Right.
And so we had this one person who was hanging out with us all day, who was like a teenager who was really excited about our groups. They had a Captain America t-shirt on. They were just like
They wanted a piece.
they were our people.
They were our people.
Definitely our people. And they hung out all day, like asking questions about the dice and all these things. And then they were perfect for our groups, like 100%. And then they asked their parent to come over and talk to us. Maybe they could find out some more information. And
They fucked you up.
the parent said, well, I knew some people in the 80s and they were pulled into Satanism.
Yeah.
And then
No, you didn't.
and she said, no offense, but I don't know you from Adam.
And we were both wearing name tags that said Adam, and so we just both pointed to our name tags.
That's exquisite.
Yeah.
That brings me great joy.
But you can't both be the devil. So was there any? One of us could be.
I just have one horn on my.
She couldn't see our feet, so she thought maybe they were connected at the
Well,
bottom.
yeah. Or maybe your root itself was in hell.
Yeah, right,
This
exactly.
is sort of like a Hydra
Yeah,
situation.
exactly. We're just the heads.
Consider it.
Yeah.
Never be too careful.
No, consider the possibility. Yeah, I grew up in that community, so I have a sense about that. Let's see, like what the
Quarter for chocolate.
Like
I have like a new goal to try to make a name that is as unpronounceable
like
as
Canal
possible.
Fapo,
I think that would be really fun.
What was there?
like Canal Fapo 84.
Okay.
At the intersection of science and gaming, how has your research enriched the fields?
That's a great question. Ultimately, we don't do a lot of research. Most of our stuff is on the services side. Actually, we're working on pairing up with other people to be able to get the research done so that we're providing the services, but we want to be able to, the research is super, super important to progressing this forward.
Right.
So we're talking with other people about how we can get sort of intake, outtake surveys and stuff in a way that's not
Oh, sure.
disruptive to
You
the
need real
experience.
information,
Right.
and then it also it probably can't be something that you're doing. Like the research is going to come from when you deliver Critical Core, and you're able to have that research done elsewhere using this system.
Yes.
Right. 'Cause you can't be in the box.
Right, exactly.
Right.
And actually, our plans with Critical Core are through like the beta testing process and everything to have intake and outtake surveys so we can really get a sense for the effectiveness of it, and that way we can tweak it and stuff as it's coming out as well.
That's cool as hell. Jay Brookstev says, hey, question for Game to Grow. Is there any place that game developers or game designers who want to create healing games or more pro-health, pro-social games can go to better understand your organization's objectives so that those developers can create games from the ground up with those objectives in mind?
You can go to our website, gametogrow.org, send us a message. There's a gametogrow.org/contact form. Let us know, and if you mention that you mentioned us, you saw us here, we'll bring it back sooner than we would otherwise.
Ultimately, there's not a ton of people that are doing this work yet, so
It's young.
Yeah, it's young. But we would be more than happy to help collaborate or help you make a game that's better for people. That's like our goal. So
Having those resources available on the website would be really cool too.
yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
I love that.
Nick's Fire says, are you guys the only on the West Coast, or do you have any partner agencies on the East Coast?
We are only on the West Coast now.
Is it because you're lazy?
It might.
I only work 80 hours a week. I should put in 20 more, clearly.
You'll find more time.
Yeah.
We actually know several other organizations that are based on the East Coast that we we collaborate with, and we are working to promote. Megan Cannell is a great resource in North Carolina, who I think you guys know. There's also the Badana Group that's based out of Pennsylvania. That's also a nonprofit that is.
That sounds like a mysterious, shadowy
They're the
organization.
ones that do. There's like a game convention out there that is all therapeutic.
Save
I can't
Against
remember
Fear?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We spoke at that convention in 2015.
Right
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Very cool.
They would know, whatever it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it's a great convention dedicated to games and how games can be used for bettering people.
Save Against Fear.
Yeah.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, it's a great name. We've actually talked with them about maybe creating a Save Against Fear here in like the Save Against Fear West Coast or whatever.
That would do very well here.
Yeah, I think that would be.
People would love
I think
it,
it'd be
yeah.
really fun to do.
I suspect.
Maybe in the next year. Or
Yeah, I
so?
suspect
A year
this
from
is
now,
the-
when we're back on C Team again, come
We'll
to
keep
Save
you
Against
updated.
Fear.
Dude,
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
looking for those updates. And like
Yeah.
I say, let us know when the Kickstarter hits, so we can promote it on the show. You know what we can do? We can activate social. What do you think about that?
Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't know what
Hashtag. Oh, hey, are you guys? So, but you've spoken at PAX too, right?
Oh yeah.
It's like 15 times now.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. So which PAXs do you guys typically speak at?
So we submitted for Unplugged.
Oh, perfect.
So we'll be hopefully having panels. We may even have a table. We just had a table at this last PAX right outside the Uncle's Games.
Oh, very natural fit.
Which was super fun. Uncle's partnered with us on that, and it was a lot of fun to do. We will be planning to go to PAX South and PAX East again this next year. We can't make it to PAX Australia. Sorry, guys, it's so expensive to go to Australia.
You're not wrong.
Yeah,
That's actually quite true.
someday down the line.
That's
down
quite
the
true.
line,
Look,
we'll
Adams, I believe in you. Game to Grow, super cool stuff. Give them the URL one more time.
yeah. It's
So
gametogrow.org to find Game to Grow, and to find more information about Critical Core, you can go to criticalcore.org, and you can find it's T-O. It's T-O. Yeah,
Game to Grow.
yeah,
yeah, because not everybody knows that. You can find more information at criticalcore.org, and you can sign up for the mailing list so you will know exactly when the Kickstarter goes live.
Yay.
The secret thing about Kickstarters is that they really survive and thrive based on their mailing list. So if you want to see this project come to life, join the mailing list and then tell everyone you know about it.
Yeah.
Because we're going to launch it as soon as it's ready.
Well, no, I mean it's a pretty cool story. I think you guys are going to do well there. Shadow Council, may our labors please you. Thanks so much for rolling through. We will see you next Wednesday at 4 p.m. PDT. Next time.
Thank you, Adams.
Yeah. Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Super fun.